dare you?
Hello.
Hi.
So what an election. Donald Trump won by a landslide, exactly like we predicted election night.
Yes, exactly. That was so weird because I really expected Trump to win with all the states that were red at 90% reporting.
It would have made a lot of sense, right?
Yeah. It's really amazing that they didn't count the mail-in votes before election night.
You know what's been so funny to me is... Okay.
We're not disappointed. Well, you might be disappointed. But
No.
For me, like, I'm not disappointed that Biden won. It's just like there's a feeling of, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah. So largely a Biden win was inconsequential to me. Like in terms of like, so what worked for me in terms of this election, assuming Biden is the nominee, which appears to be the case, and we'll talk about the fraud shit, a little later on. Like this was such a massive repudiation of identity politics. Perfect. That's what I wanted. Like this cultural shit doesn't fucking work. And like, so in California, liberal California, Prop 16 got its absolute cunt kicked in, which was so great.
And Prop 22 passed.
And Prop 22 passed. So capitalism always wins.
So wait. Let's talk about what these are, because a lot of our listeners are not Californians.
Do you want to explain it?
So Prop 16 was basically like a reinstatement of affirmative action. I've only had one White Claw. I don't know why I'm already slurring my words. So affirmative action was on the ballot. Largely, we shot it down. And then Prop 22, which was the Uber Eats, DoorDash, Lyft bill, which is like keeping them exactly how they are as independent contractors, not giving them any whatever
health benefits.
That passed.
Right.
So the bill to keep them that way passed.
And one of the largest advocates and co-sponsors of the bill was Kamala Harris's brother-in-law,
which is of course
unsurprising. So yeah, and so like a number of different things, right? So preface what I'm about to say is like the Democrats won't learn anything from this. They'll never admit this or any of this kind of shit. But so this time around, so this was the most record-breaking election of all time. So in terms of just turnout, I think like there wasn't anything bigger than this since like the mid 1900s.
Whoa.
Like, or not even, like, I think it's like 1909. I mean, this is like the largest voter turnout of all time, and that's considering the increase of population everywhere else.
With inflation included. Population inflation.
Indeed.
Which is actually a fetish.
So
inflating yourself.
Exactly. Right.
So all of those who like inflation were counted in this year's vote.
Exactly, which they shouldn't have been. I mean, that was a mistake.
Right, they're not human.
No, with their inflation porn. So Zapata County, which is in Texas, which is I think it's 90% Latino and it's on the border of Mexico, entirely turned out for Trump. I mean, totally turned out for Trump. And like, what's so fun was to watch the liberal zeitgeist media try to say that like now Cubans are white supremacists. Did you see any of that?
Yes, I did, which is really cool. I'm surprised to hear that I am now a white supremacist. Is that really who we're gonna blame for Trump getting that many votes?
They're gonna blame everybody. I mean, like everybody who doesn't deserve it, like, because what this is designed to do is to make working class people divided. I mean, there's literally nothing else beyond it. And so, like, is it not fascinating to you to watch people like Shoe on Head, for example, celebrate the win of Biden and like dunk on Trump supporters?
What's fascinating about that to me is like the overwhelming victory of Republicans in both the House and the Senate. But Biden still wins the election.
Right.
So which is true?
Right.
Which is true that all of these elected officials are now invalid, or the president vote is now invalid.
Right.
Like, pick one. Because it's just the numbers are not reflected. And so, like, seeing somebody like Shu celebrate one thing, but not realizing that the numbers just don't fucking add up.
When she was a Bernie person.
Proportionate, like winnings. Yeah.
It's mind-boggling to me. So, like...
Yeah. It's weird. Very weird.
Speaking of this kind of thing, we're going to have Chris Francis back on. He was here with Steve we're gonna like just interview him solo.
Yeah.
Because like I said to him over DM, I was like, would you be willing to come on and do this again? And he said absolutely. And I said to him, like, do you think that white liberals are scared of black people? He's black, and he was like, yeah. Like, I think you're totally right about this. And so he's super based, and like again, like it'll be really fun to have him on. And like so because like this really is so funny, and it's funny for so many different reasons, but like also like just the gloating of white liberal America is so gross, like so disgusting, because like again, like Trump liberal America, like upper middle class liberal America's view of why people voted for Trump is so distorted. It isn't as if these people are like poor and like they had somebody that lied to them, a grifter that lied to them about like what he would actually do for them, while the other side was like not saying anything about it. And also like in lieu of actually solving any sort of like economic or drug crisis for these people, they would just give you identity politics. So then you would like hate your black neighbor or your white neighbor as the enemy, so you wouldn't think about what's afflicting both of you.
Yeah.
I mean, it was totally by design. And so like you want to talk about capitalism always wins, there it is. Like this I would love to say like this is like COINTELPRO or whatever, but this is like corporate espionage to like prevent unions. Like this is really what this is. And so I don't know.
COINTELPRO sounds like Sacha Baron Cohen's like next movie. COINTELPRO.
COINTELPRO.
I usually say COINTELPRO. I read it as COINTELPRO like a stupid idiot.
Well, I mean I think you're actually saying that to not make me look stupid, because I'm the one that has said it that way for at least 7 different episodes.
Which makes me believe that it's correct. I've never said it out loud on the podcast because I'm scared and like a little baby.
Well, I mean, but I mean, like again, like I don't really feel bad about it, because it's like one of those things of like you only read it, like and like, honestly, like if you mispronounce things, that you mispronounce them because you've only read it, it means that I'm reading, and so I don't really give a shit. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, this is like a proven thing that our intelligence community has done to like divide Americans in order to, like, so they don't actually realize what they have in common. And so like identity politics is the perfect version of this.
Yeah. I'm excited for a Biden presidency. I'm dreading a Harris presidency. So like a Biden presidency is going to be so much fun to watch.
Right. Yeah.
Unless he dies before he gets into office.
Or like steps down, which like, but again, I mean, what's going to be hilarious is, so we'll talk about the voter fraud thing. Like, do I think it will swing the election in favor of Trump? No. Do I think it's bizarre to see liberal media shit on him for doing this? Yeah. It's fucking weird.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you guys didn't concede the fucking election for 4 fucking years. Like, you didn't admit that dumb cunt Hillary Clinton lost. Like, you would not accept that was reality for 4 years. And so, like, and also, like, Stormy Daniels, Kavanaugh, Russia, like literally you threw everything at him. So like, does he have the right to just absolutely go scorched earth right now? Like, even if it's totally self-serving and narcissistic? Yeah.
I hope he does.
Me too. Like, he literally, even if it's absolutely fucking ludicrous, he has earned the fucking right to just go absolutely fucking apeshit right now.
Yeah.
Like, he has earned it. Like, and again, it's not his, like, this isn't about him. It's your fault. It's a liberal media's fault for allowing, like, paving a pathway through which it is reasonable for him to do this. And not to mention that Al Gore did the same fucking thing in 2000. So like Al Gore contested the election, particularly in Florida, until like mid-December. This is not unprecedented.
It's not.
It was your guy. Like, and again, let's get away from this shit. Like, your guy. Like, why is Biden your guy? I don't fucking get that. Like, I mean, CNN reported that Dick Cheney is now advising him on foreign policy. Like, and this is because you all decided to humanize the Bush administration.
I know.
Like, you are also like
that poll I ran last week on election night.
Incredible.
Was like, so I asked who was the worst president on Twitter. The worst meaning of the following two. So I said Donald Trump and W. Bush. overwhelmingly people said Trump, which like I have a younger following,
Right.
like my age to, well, probably like 16 to 25 is my following. So they probably don't remember W. Bush very much, but like
They should.
I do. With my little peanut not toddler. I was probably like, well, Obama was elected in 2008.
But you have a curiosity about like
I was 11.
I mean, I I don't think it was just meeting me. Like, if I could have asked you the question, like even when we first started dating, like, why do you think it's possible that Trump would have won? You would have thought about that question and not gotten upset. You would have been like, that's an interesting question. Like at the very least. And then you would have been like, oh, because Hillary didn't talk to anybody who, the majority of the country, which is white and poor and getting fucking left behind by the coasts who are dominating the discussion in this country. Like the coasts totally dominate like what America says, and like what, and apparently like convince a lot of America how they feel as well.
Psychotic. The Electoral College is like the most outdated system that America has. I understand use of it, but
it proves a point. Like, because if we didn't have the Electoral College, like none of those fucking it's amazing to me. So like so much of the reporting about what was going on was like dunking on like what they call flyover states, or the people without college degrees, these kinds of things.
Yeah. If these states were just as... Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
If these states were just as important in the voting process, maybe they would garner a little more respect from the coastal elites.
Which again, it's like even though they got the outcome they wanted, they still chose to shit on people. And again, they bring up college degrees so fucking much. Does an electrician make more or less money than a BuzzFeed writer?
Mountains more. A BuzzFeed writer is like an entry-level position that pays you $11 an hour.
And it goes to show that they're like, and again, like I'll take responsibility for this. Like I think that boomers and Gen X should take responsibility for it, is not explaining to the youth of this country the value of trade. And what that results in are young people my age in the New York Times shitting on the people without college degrees that went to trade schools to be electricians, work in oil, work in all the things that keep your fucking toilet running, and you fucking retards act like they don't matter.
When Trump is out of office, I'd like to see the necessity for BuzzFeed writers just absolutely vanish. It already has vanished. I don't know why they're still trying.
There's an executive. There's like there is a Supreme Court order that forces them to frack. BuzzFeed writers must become fracking employees.
Yes, exactly. That'll do it. But like, yeah, the fucking plumbers and the electricians make this world go round.
Yes.
So, who's more important? Obviously, the working class.
Yeah.
And I've seen like recent things about people trying to exclude plumbers and electricians and like
really? I've not seen that.
From the working class.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's absurd because they make enough money. Because they make a lot of money. And like, why do you think they make a lot of money? Because we need them. They're the working class, but we fucking need the working class.
Do we need Maggie Haberman at the New York Times? No.
I don't even know who that is.
It doesn't matter. Do we need anybody at the New York Times? Like,
do we need Jeffrey Toobin, who showed his dick on Zoom?
Well, yeah, we need him. Yeah, he's important. He's an essential worker. I mean, essentially.
Is it Jeffrey?
Jeffrey Toobin.
Jeremy?
I think people that jerk their dick over. I mean, because basically what Jeffrey Toobin did was start like a impromptu OnlyFans, which I appreciate. Which, like, OnlyFans people are essential workers.
We will accidentally do that as well.
Because it keeps men, yeah, exactly. It keeps men coming so they won't murder each other.
It's true.
Which is an essential service, right? But I mean, like, honestly, like, so this election also, like, again, for like the outcomes about like identity politics, like I could go on that forever about how like this is like a massive embarrassment for the Democrats. Like they have those 2 seats in Georgia that are contested, but like it'll go to a runoff and like Republicans will win. I mean, like, especially because like they're, again, like the Democrats could win those 2 seats in the Senate. They could win, but they have refused to have a language of like some sort of introspection about why minorities turned out in huge numbers for Trump, and not for Biden. And the only group to decrease support for Trump was white men.
Yeah.
So maybe this isn't like a fucking Nazi hell. Like, your narrative you guys have pushed for so fucking long is not true. It's not even close to being true.
Right.
And so, but there will be no concession, nothing. They won't do anything, and stupid fucking brunch liberals, white women in particular, that make over $100,000 a year, will dominate the discussion for the rest of the time. Like, I mean, you know, we kind of said, like, okay, maybe if Biden wins, comedy will get funny again. Nope. It's fucking done. I saw Dave Chappelle's monologue he did on SNL. It was fucking embarrassing.
Really?
Yeah, it was super elitist. It was super fucking gross. Like, there is no introspection amongst liberals at all. And so, like, truly, I am done voting for Democrats until they figure this out. Like, it's over. Like, I am doing red ballots forever now. Like, I'm done. I mean, like, literally, because here's what's interesting to me.
Wow.
No, but I'll explain it. It might make sense to you. So it's like so the GOP now, the younger groups, the GOP. So, like, think about the young groups of the Democratic Party, right? They're the ones who try to fuck over that gay guy who was running for his. We talked about it.
Alex
Morris. They
Yeah.
tried to fuck him over because, like, and it wasn't about, like, his identity or what he cared about. It was about, like, Democratic power that had nothing to do with progressives, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the question, right? Is the GOP, the younger class of the GOP, going to take a look at the fact that Trump won minority votes based on, even though it was a lie, a working class platform? Is that, like, and so, like, people like Josh Hawley, like, younger enthusiastic groups in the GOP, like, this could make the fucking Republicans the class of, like, the party of the working class, which would be so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Am I hopeful about that? No. But, like, do I have any fucking faith in the Democrats paying attention to this?
Not.
No, absolutely not. No. And, like, especially, look at how Biden's filling his cabinet. I mean, it is just the most fucking corporatist, ridiculous fucking things on the planet. So it's like, again, like, I know I seem mad right now. I'm not. I'm more so just, like, I get fired up when, like, I have been saying this was going to happen. Like, you know, like, and so it's like, but most of the time when I make, like, predictions, these kinds of things, I don't want to be right. I'm hoping the world proves me wrong. So much so, because the way my brain works is the worst case scenario. And you're seeing it with the way that he's fucking filling his cabinet. It's like identity politics, it's fucking Republicans, it's warmongers. It is, like, dark. Like, so we are about to invade another country. I mean, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, get the fuck out of here with your COVID deaths. Who fucking cares? Like, you care about people that died domestically. What about people that we like, innocent people we killed? Whatever. I'm done. You.
Wow, you've ran out of steam mid-sentence.
Because it's like I feel like I'm just yelling at you, and there's no point about it.
I internalize all of these things.
Yes, because
I am the DNC. I am the problem.
Yes. Yeah. So it's just like this is just pathetic. And, like, again, like, so back to the voter fraud thing. Like, so if you're of the mindset where this is, like, I don't think anybody that listens to us, like, thinks this is, like, some kind of coup attempt. I mean, give me a break. So, like, but at the same time, like, there are a lot of people that I know that I respect that are smart dunking on Trump as, like, this is him being a sore loser. Maybe. But if there are some substantial things in our voting system that can result in fraud, and this guy is filing tons of fucking lawsuits, wouldn't it be good to know? Mm-hmm. It would be great to know. And if he's wrong, well, then he's wrong. But, like, it's still, like, again, like, because you all, like, all of the media, everybody, like, talk shows, Colbert, which we'll talk about later, SNL, all these fucking, like, literally every outlet has just shit on everything he has done for 4 years. Wouldn't it be interesting to you, like, or shouldn't it be interesting that, like, our democracy has been stress tested so many fucking times? I mean, like, in terms of, like, these riots, we said it before, like, he could have I guess. Well, like what people assumed would happen, would he be able to like nationally send out the National Guard, like on a federal level, and start to like, kick teeth in with government boots? It couldn't happen. It was out of his control to do. Would he have done it if he had the control? I don't know. Maybe. But it was up to the states to accept the offer.
Right.
So like ultimately, like with that, like our democracy is working, but the part that makes it not work is corporate America, where they can influence politicians to make decisions for them.
Yes.
But you got Biden. Everything's going to be great now.
The most corporatist.
Who has worked in politics for 47... You cannot work in politics as long as he did if you didn't make a fuck ton of money off of placating corporate lobbyists. I mean, that is what you got. Like, and like, okay, celebrate. This is a big celebration. Good for you. Like, great. Like, it really is pathetic to watch. Shu is like a really rough one to watch. Like YouTube people who were like on the left, like being not seeing what Trump was for people. Do you fart?
Yes, it has been lingering for 30 seconds, maybe a full minute. I'm dying over here.
So, I don't know, man. Like, it really is mind-boggling to me. Of like, again, you would think that the Democrat like or left intelligentsia would like at least think slightly about why this happened. But it's like they think that because he's gone now, these problems are solved, and it's like not even fucking close. It's worse. Like, this is way worse. This is a way worse scenario. And, the Republicans will probably keep the Senate. So whenever Joe Biden can't pass anything progressive, he'll blame it on the Republicans. I mean, that's what's going to happen. Like, it's going to be more of this fucking Obama shit, opposed to somebody like Trump who would just fucking say it out loud. So it's like the American people can kind of wake up. Again, like, why were there more, like, why did he get, I think, like, nearly 8 million more votes than he did before? Like, why? They'll never ask themselves why.
No.
So
they'll just keep saying that like poor people and uneducated people are Trump supporters because they're poor.
Because they're stupid. Yeah, because they're stupid and poor, and like, well, they won't say poor. They'll never admit that, but they'll say stupid. Like they're dumb fucking people. But also like another fun part, like the Lincoln Project. You know who they are?
Yeah.
So their whole goal, and they literally pumped millions of dollars into this, was like, we're going to turn Republicans to Joe Biden. So
do you think it worked?
Republican turnout for Hillary Clinton was about 10%.
Yeah.
For Biden, it was 6%. So they literally had the opposite effect of what they attempted.
Where did it go?
Because they're grifters. I mean, like, they have no, like...
That's so embarrassing.
There is no, like, again, I feel I'm this angry for you guys who are on the left. Like, deeply on the left. Like, not the Antifa retards, like people I know have really good intentions that are on the left that like think that progress can happen, right?
Yeah.
I'm fucking with you. But there are two things that will forever stifle your movement. It's believing that the fucking squad has any investment in working people. They don't. Or even if they do, they are totally drowning in identity politics. Like, they cannot they can't get away from the fact that like your skin color dictates how bad your life is, which is bullshit. It's absolute fucking, it's the greatest fucking lie I think that Satan has ever convinced the American populace of ever. I mean, dude, so like if you're because again, like if you're P. Diddy's son or like, if you're black and middle class, yeah, you're gonna face some shit. You're gonna definitely face some shit. But if you're fucking poor and white in Appalachia, your fucking mom's on Oxycontin, and your stepdad is molesting you every day, like that is like the worst case scenario. But again, like, do you think that white kid is going to figure it out.
The DNC message will not resonate with somebody like that ever.
That's like a broad scale, but like just have some fucking empathy.
Yeah.
Like have some empathy for like fellow man. Like it is so crazy to me of like, if you're black, you don't have more merit than my life. Like Black Lives Matter, great. They do, obviously. But care about all the rest of them. Like for a second, care about how fucked up everybody is in this country. We are poor. We are broke. There is more student debt right now. Like speaking to the brunch liberals, there's more student debt right now than credit card debt.
There's almost like what?
Did you hear that what I just said?
$1.8 trillion.
Yes.
Yeah, in student debt. Yeah, more than credit card.
More than credit card debt. Mm-hmm. You are never getting out of it. Never. Nobody's getting out of it. It's over, dude. And then like Biden. I mean, like, it's what it is, because like it's all Obama like people that are now surrounding him. The same people that fucking bailed out the banks. Like these people don't work for you. Like you have to look at it like not from what's happening. Like again, the presidency doesn't happen. What's happening? Like vote in your city. Your city, you can vote and you can actually have some power. But like on a federal level, what matters is what the banks are doing to you. And like, I cannot, like, these people are not working for you. They don't want to give you loans. They don't fucking care. They're going to balloon your interest rates. They don't care about you. And like, I'm only being this fucking intense about it because so many people have just fallen for it because it makes them feel good right now. And like, good. Like the people celebrating the streets, honking their horns, I'm glad you're happy right now. Like truly, I know like this has been this, you have perceived restarting your computer that isn't working to be your World War III. I get it. Like I get it, but think about people that aren't you for like 4 fucking seconds who are super fucking poor and will never not be poor. It's never not going to happen. And like when the banking industry is 100% behind the candidate, when the stock market fucking skyrocketed after this guy got the nomination, you are fucked. You're so fucked. And dude, it's just, here's the thing, and I'll end it this way. I swear to God, the people that are celebrating this kind of way, that are making me this fired up about it, if they mention Trump's name one more fucking time, I am done. Like, I'm literally going to tell them, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear his name. I don't want to like hear you blame him for anything because you paid no fucking attention to the party that you chose to get into place. You paid no attention. You don't care. I care more than you. So like, why would I want to hear this from you? Truly, the working class is fucked. They're so fucked. And Biden's administration is talking about locking down the country for another 4 to 6 weeks with no fucking plan for government assistance. None. And because Pelosi didn't take the fucking $1.9 trillion dollar thing, now the Republicans are like, all right, fuck you, bitch. Now we're down to like the Republican stance of austerity. We're now at $600 billion. So like that dumb cunt, for politically expeditious reasons, didn't fucking take that deal that like fucked over working class people that have been doing their best to do the right fucking thing during all this COVID stuff. And she didn't take it because she thought that it would win her the fucking Senate and the House, or more seats in the House. It lost her seats in the House, and she'll probably lose even a larger margin in the Senate. Good job, Democrats. Great fucking job. Good job.
All right.
I didn't expect
How do you feel?
that much energy, so.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add to that. Clearly. What do you think of so yeah, do you think we will get an executive order that is like stimulus checks from Trump?
No.
You don't think so?
Nope.
He won't do something.
He's too
like
focused
that.
On this fucking dumb dick crusade he's doing right now.
Which is awful.
Yeah.
He could really make these last couple months great.
And what's going to happen, and like there's already rumblings of it, he's going to run again in 2024. I mean, like that's his plan. Like okay, you fucking stole it, and he'll fucking win. I mean, he will win. Like, dude, also, to Democrats, you guys really need to take a hard look at the fact that like this guy really would have won in lieu of a global pandemic. Mm-hmm. It took a global pandemic to take this guy out. Please ask yourselves why. Mm-hmm. For the love of God, ask yourselves why. So no, I don't think so. Bummer. No, because I think that like for him, he's as petty as Pelosi. So it's like, for him, it's like giving a win to Biden, who I think in his brain stole the election from him. Unacceptable. And the only one who was kind of the liaison between all these egos was Steve Mnuchin, and now has no power. So, who, by the way, is bizarre to me that he became the voice of reason during all this.
Yeah. Did you see that Trump appointed a new Secretary of Defense?
Dude, he's fired so many people out of the Pentagon, which is like a very interesting, actually.
I think it's because they just aren't doing what he wants. And so this new Secretary of Defense, the old guy just wasn't a yes man, and this new guy is going to be.
It'll be interesting.
This new guy is going to be like, send in the fucking like National Guard or like invade this country. He will say yes to whatever because Trump picked him to be that way.
I mean,
why else would he fire the old guy?
In my hopeful brain, it's that like because he knows he's leaving, it's going to be scorched earth on a few different things. Dude, so like all the people that remained employed that he didn't fire, like the two people he fired were the ones that like worked actively against him about troop withdrawal. Mm-hmm. And so it's like maybe in some fantasy land, this is about that for him of like actually doing some good things through executive order when he has like the presidency for a few more months. I'm not putting any stock in that being reality, but it is peculiar simply based on the fact that it's so late in the game and he's doing this. Mm-hmm. Because what in terms of yes men, like what do you want? Like what do you think they'll say yes to him about? Stop it.
I don't know. I mean, he's already tried to take people out of the Middle East, and he has, but like
they limited, like literally Democrats limited his ability to withdraw troops.
So I wonder if it'll be positive or negative. Most likely it'll be in the vein of taking troops out of other countries, but
good.
Yeah.
I mean,
which
good.
He should, yeah.
And again, I think that like if you're planning a 2024 run, do all this fucking scorched earth shit. Yeah. Like because like it'll give the American populace 4 years to fucking marinate in the fact that like this guy was not the fucking Hitler you thought you insisted on saying he was. And like I resent that you have denigrated and downgraded the reality of that atrocity that happened in recent history by calling him this. So like the word Nazi will never have the same power it ever had before. Ever. So, yeah.
Well, speaking of words that shouldn't have as much power, Bolsonaro called his country...
I fucking loved this.
A country of fags.
It's from I got the article from the Advocate.
Great. Brazil President Bolsonaro, we have to stop being a country of fags. He said that in response to COVID-19, their response to the virus. Jair Bolsonaro, the proudly homophobic president of Brazil, has said his nation needs to stop being a country of fags in dealing with COVID-19. Bolsonaro made the statement while speaking Tuesday at the presidential palace in Brasilia. He used the Portuguese word maricas, which is an offensive slang term for gay people. So he called them fags. Some English language publications translate it as sissies, others as fags. I regret the deaths, I really do, he says, according to translation by Pink News, but we're all going to die someday. There's no use fleeing reality. We have to stop being a country of fags. We have to face up to it and fight. I hate this faggot stuff.
Dude, this rules. This is like the best thing ever.
Oh my God. Brazil has had nearly 5.7 million cases of coronavirus and close to 163,000 deaths as of Wednesday. They called it. New York Times calls it a global epicenter of the pandemic.
That's kind of amazing. So we've had 210,000 deaths, like probably like 230,000 at this point.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
What is our population is like 370 million.
No, but about like 340 million.
Oh, 340 million. Then what is Brazil's population?
Let's see here.
So I wonder. I feel like their proportion would be larger because Bolsonaro just fucking bungled it. And they're a country, not 50 separate states.
Whoa.
Wow. Their ratio is fucking insane then.
That's actually really...
They have 209.5 million people in Brazil, which is a fuck ton.
That's a ton of people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Brazil is. That's why there's that meme joke of like, come to Brazil. Whenever anytime you get like 100 followers on Instagram, people will start DMing you, come to Brazil. At least it was that way in like 2016.
Did you know they had this big of a population?
No idea. But it's fucking crazy.
So that's actually about on par with ours when you think about it, like statistically.
I think they have more proportionate, like a larger proportion of people who have died of COVID-related deaths.
Sure, but
also like the classification, I'm not sure what like classifies as a COVID-related death in Brazil as opposed to here.
And I don't
know what the doctors are like in Brazil.
Well, I mean, there are more third worldy parts of Brazil than there is of downtown Los Angeles. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But that many people, I had no fucking idea.
210 million.
I had no idea.
That's a lot,
dude. Again, like, we'll get more into coronavirus stuff, like, because it's cured now. I mean, like, now that Biden has won, as we were saying, it's over.
A day later,
yeah,
they have a vaccine that's 90% effective.
Yeah, but well, anyway, we'll get into that in a few moments. I do want to play the Stephen Colbert clip really badly.
The whole thing?
I'll get to the good part, the juicy parts of it.
Please do, yeah.
So, like, a lot of late night hosts and news decided to, like, cry about what Trump's doing for some reason. And, like, it's so like, who is this for? Like, who is this for? Like, again, like, all the people that still insist on watching him won't stop, right?
Right.
But, like, I'm somebody who loved the Colbert Report. I loved that fucking show. I loved this guy. And so, like, to people like me, it's like, you're not going to win us over, or win us back, rather, by doing this.
Hey, everybody. To succeed, all that is necessary is for good men to do nothing. So say something right now, Republicans. Not later, not after you've stuck your democracy versus fascism. Law is qui tacit consentiri.
Oh,
who is silent gives consent.
So Mitch, Catholic
we heard you well, and Donald Trump trying to kill democracy.
Oh, God.
And they'll count who will stay silent in the face of this desperate attack on the bedrock institution of this truly great nation.
I'm so bored of this shit.
Because he just attacked the thing that makes us most great, and it is time for you all
Here comes
to
his Oscar performance.
What your hats have been yelling. By the way, if Donald Trump is right, if Joe Biden did pull the strings behind the scenes in Republican states like Arizona and Georgia while coordinating with Democratic states like Pennsylvania and Nevada and Wisconsin and Michigan, and throwing in the red herring of letting the Republicans keep the Senate and gain a few seats.
See, what he's doing right now is, like, not an acknowledgement of, like, people like Stephen Colbert have been talking for the last 4 years about how this guy is the worst thing to happen to America. Joe Biden barely fucking won. Barely. And so, like, maybe think about why. Like, think about, just for a second, think about why. Like, and also not alienate a fucking growing and huge part of this country if you're insistent on continuing to be an entertainer.
Seats in the House while just barely removing Donald Trump. Wow. I mean, kudos to that level of interstate coordination. I mean, anyone who could accomplish that many things at once right now really would be the behavior of the last years.
I wonder if I was crying.
I don't think he cries in this clip, though.
Sides. So you need to...
Whatever. I mean, he cried, Don Lemon cried. That's like my point. Like, it's just kind of like, but it was all so fucking performative and so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, like, here's what Biden will have to deal with. So what's this homeowner saying?
There's my Biden sign. Don't destroy anything. Be peaceful. And he's talking to a bunch of rioters outside his house.
Yeah.
fuck?
What you say?
No one cares about your white ass opinion.
Yep. Yep.
Jesus Christ. Who do you think you are telling black people how to protest?
And then here's the kicker. What
you
you say?
ask for a peaceful protest. It's white supremacy.
Fuck you, bitch.
Jesus Christ, dude.
What is... I
Go to a fucking senator's house and kill them.
I was talking to
Don't go to a fucking residential neighborhood.
I was talking to a friend of mine over Twitter yesterday where I was like, what do you think that other races can participate in white supremacy? And it was a very tepid no, you know, like, and this is why the left will always lose. Always. Because all it would take is for you to just abandon that messaging. Abandon Black Lives Matter. Like, they aren't helping you. Like, the organization. Like, they're not helping you. If you want progressives to win, get rid of identity politics. It's so fucking simple. Like, this election proved it doesn't work. In fact, it has the opposite effect of what you want. Like, why did Florida go overwhelmingly for Trump but approve a $15 minimum wage? Mm-hmm. Why? Because your fiscal issues are popular. Medicare for all, living wage, even the Green New Deal. These things are probably nationally popular. But you insist on calling Cubans Latinx.
Yeah.
Why?
It's so gay.
Why? And,
Ugh.
like, can't you see the fucking writing on the wall? Like, can't you fucking see it? Like, is it that impossible? Or are people like AOC COINTELPRO? I mean, like, I don't really see what her utility is in terms of getting things passed that would actually help poor and struggling Americans. Mm-hmm. Like, how is she helped?
She's played Among Us.
Right. Which we'll do on our Discord.
Eventually we will. As
Yeah.
soon as, like, I'm fucking done with the amount of shit I have to do. This is the worst week of my life.
So coronavirus is over.
Coronavirus is over.
And and here's how Pfizer has the vaccine apparently, and here's how Pfizer's responding to their confidence in the vaccine.
Yes. Pfizer CEO sold $5.6 million in stock the day he announced promising vaccine news. Cool. Dr. Gupta. I've heard that name before. I know who.
Well,
Dr.
there is
Gupta is.
there's Sanjay Gupta, but he's not Sanjay Gupta.
Oh, okay.
There's lots of
I know
Guptas.
many Dr. Guptas.
He's very white, but well, I don't know. Maybe he's like
He's
mixed
ambiguous.
race.
Yeah. Sorry. Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla filed to sell millions of dollars of his company's stock Monday, the day the pharmaceutical giant announced positive data about its vaccine. The company's shares soared after Pfizer and European drug company BioNTech said early data suggests the vaccine could be more than 90% effective. The transaction was part of a regularly scheduled plan to set up by Bourla to periodically sell some of his Pfizer shares. A Pfizer spokeswoman said in an email to CNN Business that the sale took place because Pfizer shares hit a predetermined price as part of a plan authorized by Bourla on August 19th. When asked if Pfizer and Bourla thought to cancel the stock sale due to the perception that Bourla might be cashing in on good news, the spokeswoman said that these are predetermined plans managed through a third-party stock administrator. Yeah, as if the fucking good news did not have any effect on...
Of course not. I mean, like, again, why did the stock, the graph of rich people's feelings, stock market,
just
boom, skyrocket, like, right after Biden won, you know?
Right. Let's see. Bourla told CNN Sanjay Gupta that he learned of the trial's results Sunday, a day before they were made public. Critics accused Moderna of overhyping the vaccine trial results, but the company nonetheless raised $1.3 billion in a stock sale immediately following the vaccine trial announcement. Executives then sold tens of millions of dollars worth of Moderna shares before the company's stock price fizzled a week later. Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so...
Jesus Christ.
And, you know, through that, so...
Ticketmaster exploring negative COVID-19 test or vaccination to attend concerts. Wallet, check. Water, check. COVID-19 test? The pre-concert checklist for music fans is about to get more complicated as Ticketmaster is planning to check the coronavirus vaccination status of concertgoers prior to shows once a treatment is approved, said Billboard on Wednesday. The ticketing giant plans to have customers use their cell phones to verify their inoculation or whether they've tested negative for the virus within a 24 to 72-hour window, according to the exclusive report. That's fucking crazy. The plan, which is still being ironed out, will utilize 3 separate components, including California-based companies' digital ticketing app, third-party health information firms like Clear Health Pass, and testing vaccination distributors like LabCorp or CVS Minute Clinic. Jesus Christ. Ticketmaster will reportedly not store or access medical records under the plan. If approved, fans would need to verify that they've either already been vaccinated or have tested negative as recently as 24 hours prior to the show.
Yeah, okay. You won't store... Yeah, okay.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You give an inch, they will absolutely take a mile. Let's see. The announcement comes just 2 days after Pfizer said results from a phase 3 trial shows its vaccine is more than 90% effective or far more successful than the seasonal flu shot. What the seasonal flu shot is like... they say it has an efficacy rate of 29%. I feel like it's more than that. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. I don't get them, so...
We should. You mentioned that we should.
I will probably this time around. Yeah, but...
Ticketmaster president Mark Jovich told Billboard he expects demand for digital screening services to skyrocket once a vaccination is ultimately approved and distributed. We're already seeing many third-party healthcare providers prepare to handle the vetting, whether that is getting a vaccine, taking a test, or other methods of review and approval, which could then be linked via a digital ticket, so everyone entering the event is verified, said Jovich. Pfizer and German biotech firm BioNTech announced Monday that they expect to produce up to 50 million doses of the vaccine I62B2 or 162B2 for global distribution by the end of 2020 and as many as 1.3 billion doses next year.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, fuck Ticketmaster. Like, for reasons beyond this. I mean, like, they are an atrocious, awful company that exploits
They've always
artists.
been.
Yeah. But yeah, so what's this gonna mean? Like, is this like literally like a doomsday Whitney Webb scenario where it's like that, like we have to use our phones to interact with anybody because of it's gonna get dark and yeah. There's also another article, like, because I knew that. Well, you don't have to read it.
No, let's do it. Let's do it.
These kinds of articles are so funny to me. That's why I brought this one up. So this is from CBS. So.
1 in 5 COVID-19 patients were diagnosed with psychiatric disorders within 90 days, study finds.
And you're gonna find you'll find the why it's ridiculous in the fucking article.
Okay, a new study published in the Lancet Psychiatry Medical Journal shows that that COVID-19 may be linked to an array of mental health effects in patients. According to the study conducted by researchers from Oxford University, a diagnosis of COVID-19 was associated with increased incidence of being diagnosed with several psychiatric conditions and disorders, including anxiety, insomnia, and dementia.
So
everybody has those 3 things.
Right, which is like what I have seen so many articles that have convinced like dumb fucking brunch liberals that like COVID causes brain damage. And it's like, okay, so people who got COVID, and this is actually probably a positive outcome of, or a positive consequence rather, of COVID existing, is there are tons of people who have dementia, insomnia, anxiety that don't ever get diagnosed because they don't go see a doctor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. This is the exact same thing as what we talked about a couple weeks ago or maybe last week, which is there's an article that came out that it causes like a drop in IQ, right? Or like mental deficiency.
For what?
COVID. COVID.
Yeah.
COVID patients.
There's been tons of
they hadn't checked beforehand.
Right. So
what their mental capabilities were.
Yeah. So basically like everything you see from the media that's about like, and again, this is from CBS, like anything you see that's about like, so if you're anybody who had to like work in any semblance of a scientific field, like you need to have not only time to determine things, but you need a control group, right? And so all of these studies that form some kind of hypothesis, which the hypothesis is that COVID causes brain damage, essentially, you have no control group because you didn't test these people before you conducted the study. So this is bad science.
Yeah.
Super bad science.
All of these articles are always bad science. We talked about it last time, but like the headline has nothing to do with the actual science because there's just an inkling of evidence that it's that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. The comments, it looks like Perry and DCK are talking about like anti-vaxxer sentiment in the country, and it's like, I am with you guys, but there's also a level of like I would get vaccinated. I probably would get the vaccine just so that I can have a fucking bacchanalian party and like, I don't know, drink from the same punch bowl as somebody else.
I'm waiting 6 months.
Waiting 6 months. That's fair. So like, I want to do these things, so I would get a vaccine to do it, but like, I understand why people are anti-vax. It's not. I think people who think it causes autism are fucking idiots. I think they're
of course.
retards. But like, people who like, from a standpoint of like American freedoms, we are a fucking country that's built on independence and freedom, and so like telling somebody that they have to do something in any regard, not just vaccines, is going to be an uphill battle in this country.
So let me put it a different way that I think like actually goes even like deeper than that. So imagine you were playing a video game, right? Like any video game, like a RPG with like an open world, right? And there was some character in the game who said, inject this thing into your bloodstream, and to us, the populace, we don't know what the fuck this is. It got rushed out in less than a fucking year. Put this in your bloodstream. Inject it into your veins. Would it make you uncomfortable in that scenario through which you get to say no? Would you say no or would you say yes?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I probably would say no because it's so risky. But like, who knows what the fuck this is? But I'm not talking about COVID vaccines. I'm talking about vaccines in general. Like, I understand why people are the way they are when they are anti-vax. Of
course.
I think it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Because the science is not on their side.
I mean, it's
and I'd like to see how their hair would fare in a blizzard.
It's kind of like,
but
how their hair would fare in a blizzard. It's kind of like, I mean, it's like the Pizzagate thing of like, yeah, child trafficking is real, but your version of like how this will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton is insane. Like, even though, we know she was complicit in this, but like at the same time, it's like, deal with the smaller problems first. But if you focus on this kind of macro ridiculousness, like nothing will get solved. And so like, and also it'll discredit these issues that are big, but society deems them as small. It's like a very similar situation. So like, QAnon also, like, Bill Gates, like, he's going to put a microchip in our arm, this kind of thing. Like, no, that isn't what's going to happen. But did he give vaccines out in Africa that like disabled people? Yeah, he did. That is like objectively true. You can look this up. So rushing out vaccines and injecting them into your bloodstream is a scary fucking prospect. So like, no matter how fucking liberal you are, you should at very least take pause at just sort of like...
The quickest we've ever gotten out a vaccine is 4 years. What was that?
For
Measles
mumps.
Or mumps?
Yeah.
Mumps. So if we... COVID was released. COVID was debuted in fucking March in the United States. You really think...
Debut.
It was, yeah. It was a debutante. She had the white gloves and everything. If COVID was fucking debuted in the United States in March, which is when lockdown began, like, what makes you think that we'd have a reliable and well-tested vaccine less than a year later? It's only November.
And here's the thing, like, to the anti-vax argument, like, so, like, again, like, it's something I'm willing to take, probably because it'll determine if I can work, in certain areas, like, obviously. But do you think that shaming people, like shaming the anti-vax people and taking it, is going to be as effective as it ever was before?
No,
it's going to be worse. Like, So
they'll double down.
How about you fucking stop it? Like, stop it. Like, hopefully stupid Trump gets behind it if it is useful or whatever. They're trying to claim as if this is some kind of Biden victory, but he's been saying for months that a vaccine was about to come out, and he mentioned Pfizer by name. Yeah. So it's like, look, I mean, like, and again, like, even during that time period, I said that, like, I would take it, but I would just wait a few months to kind of see, like, how this played out in humans. Because, like, again, like, I'm not terribly interested in intravenously taking things with things that are going to literally affect my DNA.
Interesting that you say that when your experience with intravenous.
Sure, but
with things that you've injected.
But if I were injecting heroin that was an mRNA, do you think
it broke down your fucking DNA so that, like, by the time you're 40, your body stops reproducing DNA?
And who knows? Yeah. Who knows? Like,
yeah, we don't know.
That's the part about it. So, like, honestly, like I'm not even joking. Like, even at, like, the height of my intravenous heroin use, if someone was like the Mexicans have fucking put some shit into your brown heroin through which it might alter your DNA, I would have been like, I think I might be done with this drug.
We prefer the term heroin of color.
Yeah, heroin of color. With our vice president of color, who was going to be president of color. So, I would, like, people maybe in our chat or whatever, like, that are going to take it the first day, take a picture. I would love to see you actually do it. Like, to prove it, because I think that, like, I think everybody is as skeptical, like, people who think about it, like, or have the curiosity we have, are as skeptical as we are.
We are the new Ticketmaster. In order to listen to our podcast, you have to have a COVID vaccine or have tested negative in the last 72 hours. We require that, and you can do that through our Patreon at patreon.com/
Fruit basket.
Fruit basket.
Yeah.
Fruit basket.
By the way, speaking of Patreon, I made a $1 tier. I don't know why I didn't have that before.
Yeah.
So
if you want to jump in.
I apologize to people who paid $5. Like, I didn't know you could actually.
Well, you can choose, like, how much you pay, right? You don't have to pick a tier.
I think someone did that, but I just
I think we have somebody who's paying like $2 or $3
for posterity's sake. I made a $1 tier if you just want to.
Fantastic.
Because I'm not really. I do little, like, voice memos on there, like, occasionally.
It's very rare that we post something like particularly groundbreaking.
Because there doesn't really seem to be much of a gravity to doing it yet, even though I feel like it would be responsible for us to do it, but.
But yeah, we still have it, so check it out if you would like to. There are a few things up there now. I'm thinking about maybe, like, I could post thumbnails early on the Patreon.
So Spiffo says that, like, mRNA vaccines are designed to not affect your DNA.
Yeah, mRNA is different.
mRNA is like the single-use copy for creating a couple proteins before it degrades. That's the idea anyway. Obviously, it's never been done before, and that is your ending of your sentence is why it troubles the fuck out of me. And so, like, again, like, I'm only making this statement not as somebody who rejects the idea of a vaccine existing or because I'm, like, a skeptic. It's more so because, like, I live my life already in a way through which I can avoid getting the virus.
Right.
And so, like, I, either through privilege of how I'm able to work or through the fact that, like, I am not a terribly social person despite doing this, which I'm sure is irony to people, but, like, I don't go to bars. Like, I have never liked these things even before coronavirus happened. So I will be able to wait because it will not really affect, but I think that it will cause conflict in our families. Like, that is going to be a very interesting part about it. Your family in particular,
they wouldn't get the fucking vaccine.
No way. But your other side.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah.
They'd be like, you have to get it.
And they're going to shame, a lot of shame.
Dude, I won't say who exactly, but my parents are going to Florida, and they got a very shameful text.
Of course.
From somebody who was like, do you really want to go to Florida and kill your parents? Do you really want to risk getting COVID and killing your parents?
Cute.
Really fucking cute. Really aggressive. And I'm so disappointed. I have no interest in talking to that person for the next, like, month or two. But I have to. They're fucking family. I'm so mad about that. Like, I mean, first of all, fucking airplanes, the transmission rate is like 0 on airplanes. The circulation of the air, it goes from top to bottom, and 30% of the air goes out of the plane every time, every single circulation. So the air is clean. It's not coming from front to back. You're not breathing the air of the person in front of you. You're breathing the air from above you. It's all the fucking... the air just leaves the plane. Second of all, if you're being fucking careful, I asked all my friends lately, like, when was the last time you got a cold? The common cold. And none of them could remember.
Right.
None of them could remember when they got it.
That's the thing I've been saying of like, I'm fine with the mask wearing in public because I've not gotten any
Exactly.
illness.
It has not gotten me anything. I've not been sick at all since we've started wearing masks. So what is the fucking deal with traveling between states, traveling interstate, to see family members if you are careful? Like, what's the fucking deal? Planes are not a bad transmission. In fact, you'd probably be exposed to more people if you drove to Florida. If you stayed in hotels, if you went to gas stations, you'd be exposed to more people than if you went to an airport and took a plane.
And your likelihood of dying is literally 0.000007%. I mean, it's just not even fucking close. So it's like, I don't want innocent people to die. Like,
right.
But again, the same media who is shaming us into closing down our society so you and I can't get jobs and we're fucking broke and there's no government assistance are the same people who lied us into a war in the Middle East where we killed over a million innocent people. So they are not interested in human life. Like, they're not, unless it's optics. It's like, if it's good optics, then they'll be all for it. But in the meantime, like, these people don't care about you. They don't.
Right.
They don't. So.
Oh, whoa. Sounds
Again, like
alligator.
The death rate does not even come close to the infection rate. So as we said, I think in our 6-hour fucking thing, or like as I said, but I think you agreed with it, is like, Jesus.
Lord.
It's just like, what are we doing?
Agreed.
What are we doing? So, I don't know. So, and the idea too, like, so again, like the death, like the percentage of, like, the idea of you dying is so low that, so we're going to now force people to log their health data into their phone, which is again a violation of like HIPAA laws, which I love to know because, like, I love to have in place in the sense of, like, look, I mean, like, I love guns and I also see a psychiatrist, so like I don't want those things to be like, it's why I hate red flag laws. Like, I have like serious problems with government overreach, but it is astounding to me to watch white upper middle class people who are liberal, big L liberal, okay with the erosion of our civil liberties. It is pathetic. So,
yeah. Ugh, I gotta pee so bad.
So do I. I think I'm done.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's log off.
Oops.
I'm sick of the internet for the evening.
All right.
And I have a big fucking day tomorrow, so I probably need to get out of here early.
All right. Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
This is all wrong. That's no good. This come on, man. You have stolen. Come on, man. That's no good. How dare you?
Basket.